And welcome back to another episode of The First Journey. And which one? And here we are doing another episode of what I just said. Alright, so updates. The Mazda CX-30 has lost the first round. And there are other challenges for round 2. Who will win? We will find out in like 5 seconds because I already knew, because I make these videos not as I am thinking them out, I'm making them as I pretty much ever think about out. Which is odd for me on my channel, but anyway. So, yeah, the Mazda CX-30 lost because I sat back in the Escape the other day, and I could reach out and touch everything just fine, including the touchscreen. Which, if we scroll down to interior, I don't want to show my zip code. It doesn't matter that much, mind you, but it's, yeah, I still won't show it. But as you can see, the touchscreen is right here. You sit here, as you can see, because that's a seat. Steering wheel is here, and luckily because I have long arms, even if I have my seat all the way back, I can still touch the touchscreen in one simple arm motion, going from wheel to touchscreen. It's not that bad for me. So the CX-30, with its knob, while it is better, it's not that much better. And basically, the rest of the Escape is on par with the CX-30 in terms of reachability. And the CX-30 handles a tiny bit better. I haven't test drove any of them. I do plan on driving them in September, as I'm about to get the Escape plugin. But in other news, the Escape plugin is not going to have all-wheel drive, which is unfortunate. We already talked about this the other day. Another unfortunate thing is I kind of convinced my grandma that front-wheel drive is a safety risk, which it kind of is. People normally put front-wheel drive in modern-day cars for fuel efficiency. Or at least that's what me knowing what I know about how mechanics, how engineering works, and how energies works and stuff like that. I know I'm not trying to convince you very hard, but basically, if you try to, basically the turning of the transmission, or not, the turning of the drivetrain, loses energy. So if you place the wheels right next to the engine, you lose less energy in the rotation, through air resistance and whatnot. And trying to convert it into different directions, trying to get to the back wheels. In the four-wheel drive, you had no issue. In an all-wheel drive, you had the same issue. Another issue, because I recently been playing Forza, I do plan on making a video on this. And I do have a Forza series, a Forza Motorsport 7 series right now. But basically, I was testing a Ford Fiesta, which is not an Escape. I'm not planning to say I've driven a Fiesta and Forza, therefore it's the same as driving an Escape. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I know they're completely different vehicles. However, Ford does have a similar taste. Like, car manufacturers still have similar taste to how their cars perform. And basically, the Ford Fiesta, without stability control, but with traction control, gets into this locked drift or locked power slide where it just slides until it stops, or until it loses enough energy for you to turn. If you try to correct it by turning the wheel, you snap to the other direction and get locked into a locked slide in up's direction. If you do it again, because you're flipping it too quickly at too of a shallow angle, you roll the Fiesta in Forza Motorsport 7. Stability control cancels this phenomenon. And that's one of the reasons why I don't like front-wheel drive, although I started liking it because of its instant turning, because you're powering the front tires and you're moving easier. And I also like it for drifting as well. For drifting and power sliding, because your back tires do literally nothing in a turn, so they easily lose grip, which is really nice. For drifting and power sliding, which is not what you want to do on I-95 or any of the local highways. Yeah, that's a terrible thing. Especially since the Fiesta rolls after you do it twice in a row and try to correct it a third time. It's crazy. Which is why there's stability control in modern cars, because a normal driver who has not, at least, who has not been playing racing games all their life, or is trained in it, they won't be able to identify it and get out of it. They will do bang, bang, done. So yeah, which that was a lesson in what stability control is, because I'm not quite sure what it did. All I knew is I didn't like it until that moment, and then I realized how it is actually a good thing to have. But anyway, so it's really unfortunate that the Force Gate Titanium doesn't have front-wheel drive, which by the way you may be wondering, why do I like rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive? Well, rear-wheel drive doesn't have these issues, because if you get in that lock slide with a rear-wheel drive car, you don't really get into a lock slide, you basically lose traction and you slip back and forth, which is different. It's not nearly as disastrous as lock, done. Lock, roll. But in a rear-wheel drive car, you can just let up the gas and be fine. In an all-wheel drive car, you have none of these issues, and the back tires can have traction control too, to add into the traction control experience. Another thing about rear-wheel drive cars is, unlike the difference between rear-wheel drive and front-wheel drive is, to me, for front-wheel drive, the front tires do everything, the back tires do nothing. They just support the rear end of the vehicle. Whereas in the wheel drive car, the back tires provide power, the front tires provide steering, allowing you to have options and getting out of situations. All-wheel drive gives you the best of all worlds. Best of both worlds, so yeah. So in order to fix this all-wheel drive issue, I heard Doug DeMuro speak off the top of his head, same with Alex on Autos, or speak, suddenly about how the Ford Escape 2020 there's a Lincoln version of it, and that's the Lincoln Corsair. It's a Lincoln version of the Escape. It looks uglier because I don't like the Lincoln grill on the Ford Escape. I prefer the Ford Escape's Aston Martin like thing, which is I think everyone has their own opinion about what the Ford Escape looks like. To me, it looks like an Aston Martin with Ford GT headlights, which I like Aston Martin and I like Ford GTs, so I like that. But anyway, so the Corsair, which isn't that bad except for its just nonsense grill, is an option. It ticks literally all the boxes. However, in order to get the HUD, you need to get the reserve for like 4,000 and the HUD for 1,000. That sucks. And as you can see, with all the options, including some niceties which you can only find in luxury cars, Lincoln's, to be more precise, it's 55,000. As you can see, if this was the plug-in, it would be 41,000. It's a 14, I think, $1,000 difference. And while the Lincoln is all sorts of worth it, and it's all sorts of not overpriced for what it is, because it is a completely different vehicle to the Escape. It just looks like one. It just has the basic framing idea of an Escape. Everything else is very, very different, as you can see if you look at the interior, which is much more obvious that it's different. Whoa. As you can see, it is way different and much shinier. I mean, and what I didn't actually mention about the Lincoln plugin, which is coming at the same time as the Escape plugin, or the Ford plugin, or the Escape plugin and the Corsair plugin are coming at the same time, except Lincoln, for some reason, I mean, Lincoln doing it makes sense. Ford not doing it makes no sense. Lincoln decided that they're going to add electric motors to the back because it's physically impossible for the transmission to go to the back. That is a fantastic idea, Lincoln. You are doing a good job, especially as a luxury car. The problem I have is why didn't Ford do this with the 2020 Escape? I don't care if it was a $2,000 add-on, a $5,000 add-on, or even a $10,000 add-on. It makes more sense to have it as an add-on too. I think the best pricing for that without knowing the actual cost of the motors is around 5,000 to me, 5,000 or less. In order to compete with the Lincoln, and make the Lincoln make sense, or well, make the Ford make sense, make the Ford not look expensive, or make the Lincoln not look cheap. Regardless, so they don't, have the same price car, just be completely different. Like, you have the cheap Escape and you have the expensive Lincoln, and yeah, like, why not get the Lincoln? Other than for the brand name, which, in my family, luxury cars are disliked, to put it into luxury car terms. So getting a Lincoln is not financially feasible, and Lincoln, albeit Lincoln is one of the nicer, not as snobby car brands, and the Europeans are not the European luxury car brands overcharge you on nearly everything, including the car. Which, to be honest, so does Toyota, because they overcharge you on floor mats, like $500 for floor mats when I could get almost $200 floor mats from Tesla. I mean, seriously. But anyway, which Tesla's next. But anyway, that's why not the Lincoln. It's too expensive, and it's too expensive for us. It's perfectly worth it if you want the Ford Escape on all-wheel drive, and you have the ability to buy, and you can afford 55,000. Get the Lincoln. It's a no duh. If you want a good all-rounder vehicle, basically, if you want the Ford Escape, but you want it to be nicer and you want to have all-wheel drive, you get the Lincoln. It's no duh. It's great. That would be my recommendation. But it's only if you can afford it, which we cannot. But anyway, so also you might be wondering from the last video, why not Tesla? There are two Teslas I can feasibly afford, and at their base models too. That is good old Model 3 and good new Cybertruck. Despite how divisive the Cybertruck looks are, I love them. Why do I love them? Because A, looks like a DeLorean, and B, it looks like a 1990s / early 2000s / late 80s version of what they thought a car from the future would look like. It's perfect. I love it looking wise. We still don't know about the interior. The interior they showed at the car show was very to be done. Was very early production. And you still might be wondering, why not a Model 3 then? Why not a Tesla in general? The problem is, we have like 3-4 dealers. We have actually 3-4 dealers in Jacksonville I can go to. We only have one Tesla dealership, and they're a sad affair. Haven't been there yet. I don't know what it actually looks like, but judging from the Tesla website, it's a really, really sad affair. It's located in town center, which is a bit nonsense because drivers drive terribly there. They drive like they drive on highways. It's nonsense. I like it, but driving there, yeah. But anyway, so the town center, which basically is an open air mall, it's a type of, basically imagine a strip mall that you find on your main street, and imagine if it's in a purpose built area like a mall, and it's like that. But anyway, that's the story for another time. But why not Tesla? Because we only have the one Tesla dealership, and there's a Tesla repair shop in West Side, which is on the highway, which is not the worst place to, which is not bad. It's centrally located for my family at least. But the thing about the Tesla shop is the reason why I believe it's small is because on Tesla's website they only got one Model S from 2019, and that's it. That is sad. I don't know what Tesla has against Jacksons, but like, why not give us at least a 2020 Model 3 or something? Come on, Tesla. But anyway, especially with how many Teslas Jacksons own, it's crazy. In Jack's Beach, you see them all the time. Like, of any premium brand, you will see a Tesla before you see anything else. Well, and Porsche and BMW, and that's it. And Mercedes-Benz, and that's it. No more than Tesla and Porsche. Technically Porsche now because Porsche has a Taycan. But anyway, so that's why not Tesla. Um, it's not because of the price, and also there's the whole it being solely electric, which is not the most feasible thing in Florida, because Florida has such limit. Florida does not have a lot of charging stations. The only charging stations we have between the range where I would feasibly go, which is Orlando and Southeast Georgia, where some of my where my grandma's family live. Well, I have an uncle there. Um, and the only charging stations are in hotels. Every hotel has one. That's a good thing. So if you're coming to Florida in if you're road tripping to Florida in an electric car and you plan on staying in hotels while charging, Florida is great. However, if you're a resident of Florida, you only got parks and the beach, and that's it. One park and one beach is where we have charging stations in the entirety of Jacksonville. It's crazy. So that's why not Tesla, because it's electric only, which might be an issue. It has 200 miles range, which is not bad, but with the gigantic expanse of what is Georgia and Florida, it's quite literally almost nothing. Like, you can go to top of Central Florida for 200 miles? Yeah. Like, you can go from the Florida-Georgia border all the way down to Orlando or Daytona. I mean, that's where I would realistically go anyway. And if I went further, I could just stay in a hotel. But really, and every Sunday I go visit my parents, which is a 55-mile drive because they live across the city from us. Yes, Jacksonville is that big. It's like 60 miles wide. So it's a 100-mile trip every Sunday that I take. Which, charging in your garage every night, it shouldn't be an issue. But still, there's that range anxiety, which you only get if you live in a place like Florida. Which as much as California wants to be us, we're not California. But anyway. I'm mostly kidding about that. We are two separate things. California is the Florida on the West Coast. Florida is the California on the East Coast. We are equals to each other. We plan to dominate the United States with our senators. I mean, with our representatives. But anyway. Yeah, as much as I wanted Tesla, and then there's also the Tesla issues of Tesla making interiors which they need to fix after they give it to you. The car might break down if it's brand new because it wasn't ready, because Tesla kind of pushed them out a bit too early and stuff like that. Just little errors Teslas have because they're Tesla. Despite the really good warranty, which you're actually going to use the Tesla warranty is the issue. We never use a Toyota warranty, but you will be using a Tesla warranty. However, once the warranty period's over, I never really hear anyone have real complaints about Teslas, because they're fixed or they're like a 500 thing every, like 500 thing every, like you pay $500 every quarter or every year to fix some little thing. Like as much as Tesla resembles Apple, Tesla's not Apple. Tesla's more like Nintendo. And even then, Tesla is even better than Nintendo. It's kind of crazy. Like Tesla's a really good brand, but again, all electric. We only got one Tesla dealer. I highly doubt they'll get a separate truck for me to try out. Which I would have, which I'll plan, which I would reserve a test. I would reserve a Cybertruck anyway. Yeah, it's just not good for that. So in round two, the Escape beats out the the Corsair because of cost reasons, and the Tesla and the escapees of the Teslas because of Tesla reasons. So yeah, so after this, in the upcoming months, I will probably be doing videos where I go in more details about about the about the escape and the individual competitors, what my thoughts are, because I did research them a lot, so I can talk about them. And I have said in the CX30, I said in the escape, I've not said in the Corsair, I've not said in the Tesla. So I can say from personal experience about them, but I can say what I find on paper. Which, unfortunately, that's just how it's going to be for me right now. My channel's too small to openly ask for cars to review. And my videos would be something like Trophier, which is a POV car review channel, and Doug DeMero, which is a more relaxed. Here I talk about the car. Basically, he talks about cars like I talk about video games. We have very similar styles in our genres. So it'd be something like that. And also, I don't really need to either. Between my grandparents and my parents, we have 2 different years and 2 different trims of Suburbans. We got CRV and like 5 others that my parents have. Yeah. So I got plenty of cars. I got plenty of cars I can review. Just in our family, and it would keep me busy for a while because I'm not going to do that many that often. It's just not going to happen. Because I'm busy with my own channel. I'm busy with I'm busy with my authoring. I'm busy with my game deving. So I don't have time to be a car reviewer as well. I barely feel well enough to do unboxing videos at all. I mean, as well. I mean, normally. Which I also need to do. Which I also need to do 2 things, which I'm going to be planning to call a version of the unboxing. Their unboxes. A version of it called Ditchmine Shows, which is probably what the car reviews be under as well. Where basically I take something that I've already unboxed and I show it off, like my new bed frame and stuff like that. But yeah, so that's the update of the Fusca journey. The difficult of the difficult journey. That's the update, and yeah. So the escape wins again. It's just been winning all this time. Like I keep throwing competitors at it, and it keeps winning. I wonder why. Maybe because Ford actually wants to really, really conquer the market this time. Um, but yeah. Alright, so that'd be it for this video. Thanks for watching. Appreciate watching on this video. It means a lot to me. It also means a lot to me if you were to check out the stuff on the screens, just to find, such as their story Life in War 2040s, where you follow the Schwein's different friends to go on missions to help maintain the perfect world they built over the last 15 years. It is it's a sci-fi action adventure war novel. Alright, that'd be it for this video. Thanks for watching. And I guess, see you in skin.